Hi guys, welcome to my new video. So it's actually been like 2 weeks since I last had a video, and that's cause I somehow decided to start this project that took 2 weeks to create. So originally it was a hostel. It was just I wanted to make it like a Singapore apartment because Singaporeans have this shoebox sizes apartment. So I wanted to implement it in Sims. But after a while I realized that hey, why not just make it into a hostel, you see? Yeah, but anyway, before that, as you can see, I included a basement because I didn't want it to be too high. And I don't know, the idea of living, like, you know, when you come and you just go down to the basement and there's your apartment, I don't know, it feels good to me lah, I guess. Yeah, so I really wanted them to live in a basement. Yeah, and I wanted to make the hostel as realistic as possible. So I made the house like kinda small. Like each apartments are really small. Yeah, so that like because these are hostels or other apartments, and like the cheaper you pay, because you know usually hostels are for students. Yeah, so it's like I wanted it to be more realistic. So since it's gonna be a hostel, so, and you know usually hostels are occupied by students, so students won't really have that much money to pay, hence they will, you know, pay quite cheap prices. So the cheaper you pay, the smaller the apartment you get. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So basically, yeah, as you can see, at the basement there's like 8 apartments. Then at the first level there's 8 also. Yeah, there's 8 also, but they're smaller, like way smaller. And for the last level, originally I made them into different apartments also because I wanted to make the whole thing a hostel kind of thing. So as you can see, the second level, I mean, like it was actually also 8 apartments, but I kind of changed my mind after a while because I decided to turn this into a dance academy hostel where I include my dance mates, and I don't really have that much dance mates. I think I only have like 18 dance mates, and some of them are like in a relationship, so I put them together with their other half. So there were too much rooms and not enough students. So I actually decided to turn the second level into a dance room with a gym and a dining table and toilets. Yeah, so you can actually see that later. Yeah, so basically what I was thinking, I wanted them to have this fountain-ish thing, yeah, like in the middle. And it actually took me a while. Like I had this idea in my head where I wanted it to be very like nature-like at the top, you see. So I wanted to include like all this, as you can see, like all the flowers and stuff like that, but I wanted to make it as realistic as possible. And there's a fountain also. Yeah, so it's like it's a nice scenery at the top. I don't know if you get it. Then after a while, I wanted this fountain to be open kind of thing. Then it took me a while to figure out like how I wanted it to be open such that it would look much more nicer. So I have to admit that my original design was actually quite ugly, like the house original design. Like I didn't have everything in mind. Like I didn't have the design quite in mind other than the apartment designs. So, and the worst part was that I did not know how the rooftop was gonna look like. I am so not good at building rooftops, so it really took me a long while to figure out how to get the right rooftop, because as you can see, I actually messed up the rooftops, and I had to Google like, how do real life rooftops look like, because I wanted to make it into a modern house where like there isn't any roof. And yeah, I didn't really know how to put them together. So but then you'll see in the end what happened. Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I wanted to make it more eco-friendly, like not too much but also not too little. So as you can see, I was trying to fit in like a few trees here and there, but there wasn't much space left. So yeah, I was actually quite proud of this part. this flowers part, it took me a while to do it, to figure out what kind of design I wanted and what kind of flowers I wanted to combine. It was quite sad that eventually I kind of cut both sides of the of the flowers. I don't think the cutting part is in the video because like I said, it took me 2 weeks to create this, and so I didn't really record throughout the 2 weeks. I didn't really record all my progress because most of them are just me decorating the apartments, and like I said, in the end there were 16 apartments, and showing you guys 16 apartments worth of progress will be a really long video. I mean, like, this is already a quite long video. It's what, 30 minutes? Yeah, so I actually didn't really, I only recorded like certain parts so that you can actually see how one apartment, because the apartments for each level are actually the same. So like example, for the apartments in basement, they're actually similar throughout the design. I mean, the designs are actually similar throughout, so there isn't really much to change other than where I place like all the clutters and stuff like that. Yeah, so for this one, I couldn't figure out how to make I wanted it to be a balcony, and I wanted the balcony to be small, but it looks weird. Like, I don't know, it looks like the house have ice or something. Yeah, so it was quite weird. It took me a while to figure out what kind I wanted to have. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, in the end I just make it into a fence, but it still looks really weird. Yeah, but you can see the finished product later. I kind of changed a lot here and there, and so basically throughout this whole dance academy, yeah, this is called the Dance Academy Hostel. In the end, I actually asked my dance mates for their advice on like how to build their rooms, because like I said, there were 16 rooms to be built, and I wanted it to be based on their personality. Yeah, so it was quite a long thing. Oh yeah, as you can see here, it took me a long while to figure out what kind of roof I want. I wanted to make it into a modern type of roof, but I don't know, it just looks really ugly to me in the end. Like, it looks too plain. So guess what? I changed back to a rooftop in the end, like a legit roof. Yeah, you can see that later. And yeah, okay, so if you realize that at the side there's this underground house, like just by the side of this, you will see in the later video that it's actually been made, like it's actually been decorated. Yeah. Oh yeah, so this is what I was talking about. I wanted it to be more open, because I wanted it to be such a way that because there's a fountain there, I wanted, like, you know, to have that feeling where if people walk past it, they can see like what's going on there. I don't know how to explain it. I just wanted it to be open. I wanted to have people, like, I wanted it to be very, yeah, I guess you'll get what I mean later. Yeah, so yep, as you can see, I had a whole lot of problems with the roofs. Like, I didn't really like how it turned out like this, so I kind of decided to take it all out later. So hence, okay, so this is why I started building. Yeah, as you can see, all the houses have the exact same design. Yeah, I just decided, because as a hostel will usually have the exact same design throughout, because hey, you paid for it, so that's what you get. Yeah, so and as you can see, the first levels apartments are very small. So I had this series in my head, where I had this story in my head where, hey, maybe the first level people are the one who couldn't afford that much, because as you know, during, like, if you live in a hostel, there are those people, there are those rich students that can pay a lot, but there are also those that couldn't pay much. So those who can pay a lot gets room by themselves, and those who couldn't pay that much have to room with like 4 or 3 people, or rather that's how it works in my country lah. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to have it here. Only thing that I didn't want them to room together, So basically I just made the price difference in such a way that they have different sizes rooms. Yeah. So anyway, this was the first room that I built. It wasn't easy because I didn't really know how to fit everything inside, because this is the first time I created such a compact apartment. So I had to squeeze everything inside. Yeah. So as you can see, I made use of the cabinets on top, and yeah, it took me a while to figure out like what kind of lightings I wanted, because since it was so compact, so certain places would have no lightings, and once at night it would look quite dim, and I don't know, I don't like dim lightings, you know. Yeah, I wanted it to be as bright as possible. Yeah. So anyway, I had to combine the living room and the kitchen because there wasn't that much space. But for certain rooms, like you had to see, because certain rooms I wanted them to have a dining table, but for certain rooms there wasn't enough space, so they don't really have a living room couch. Yeah. Then yeah, as you can see, I love my clutters a lot. I love clutters. I blame my friend for it. She introduced me to clutters. Yeah. So basically this is what I had in mind. Yeah. So you just see. Oh my god, I had so much food. You know, I downloaded this custom content, this furniture custom content, where they just introduce all the food. It's called Cardofe, Kardofe. If you wanted to look for it, they had like pizzas, they have Lay's Doritos, and it helped a lot in this hostel because my friends are teenagers, young adults, and they like to eat a lot. So it was quite fun actually placing all the food everywhere. They even have cookies. Yeah, so that was fun. And yeah, for this I realized that there's a small space in between, and I wanted to make use of that space. So I actually put tables and chairs, for dining tables and chairs. Yeah, but like for the later parts, for the others, I think I didn't really put that much. Yeah. So for this first room, I actually didn't really have any specific theme to it, because I didn't really know who I wanted to live in this house, in this apartment I mean. So it was just quite random. I just wanted to make it look like it's a teenager's room. Yeah, a student's room basically. Yeah, so I made use of the bunk bed, because since the place is very compact, the bunk bed was the easiest thing to do, because it actually helps you save space, and you can still put a study desk below it, you see. Yeah, so this room is actually quite gender neutral. The only thing you can get from it is that it's a student's room. Yeah, and I really wanted to make it look like a student's room as much as possible. Rather still a studying student, because this is a dance academy hostel, and like even though they are dancing, they do still have to go to school. Like that was my Sims background for this house lah. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, I was placing all the clutters, and what I had in mind was I was thinking about how a normal study table would look like. Definitely not like mine, because my study table does not have that much stuff. But yeah, I actually googled on how a normal student study table would look like, especially those in a college dorm kind. And yeah, you can actually see my different rooms actually vary from each other in terms of what they have and what they don't have. So basically, like not all rooms have tables, you see, because sometimes they want a double bed, especially those couples living together. So you can actually see that I placed their laptops on their beds to show that, you know, like, hey, since they don't have a side table, like they can still study on their bed, or rather sometimes on the dining table or in the living room. Yeah. So basically, as you can see, I had trouble choosing the lights usually, because I wanted the lights to fit in together with the room and how it looks like as a whole. Yeah. Oh, I love this door. This is the door where you actually can have bookshelves. It looks like bookshelves, but it's like, I don't know, a hidden door. Yeah. Then I eventually changed the tile of the toilets because my best friend told me that it was too weird. So yeah, I changed it to a different color. I completely forgot. I think it was some shade of blue too, but it wasn't that blue. Yeah. And yeah, as for the toilet, it was quite compact also, so I had to make sure that they had space to go into the shower. There was definitely no bathtub in this hostel because hey, it's a hostel. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to make it as realistic as possible. So I actually had to cram in certain stuff, and this wasn't even the worst one because for me, like, this bathroom was kind of a blessing because it was a bit bigger, but later on you can see that the first level bathroom was very small. There wasn't even space to put a sink. It was only just a shower place and a toilet bowl. Yeah, so if they wanted to wash their hands, I guess they would have to go use the kitchen at the side. Yep. Yeah, so you can see that later. And yeah, so like I said, I wanted to make this as compact as possible. Looks like it's kind of messy too because you know students are technically kind of messy, hence the living room area. And actually what I had fun most was placing the cushions because I recently discovered this CC where you can actually put cushions, and I was really excited because I love cushions. And you can decorate your you can actually decorate your couches with it, and it makes it look more nicer. Yeah, so basically this is the second room. Okay, so the difference between the first room and the second room, right, is that this second room is a couple's room. Yep. So I had to take into consideration that there's a couple living in this room, but the thing is, for the couple, they are actually they are the kind where like the girl is not more dominant, but like the girl tends to get her way more, kind of thing. So I didn't want this room to be like to show that it's exactly shared, because okay, if you think of it in real life, then if you rent a room with your boyfriend, like if you're a girl and you rent your room with your boyfriend, most of the time, especially if you have one bedroom, the girl will kind of have a way in decorating it. Yeah, so I wanted to show that way, you see. So like for the kitchen, right, as you can see, it's more neutral. Like there's a lot of food because the guy tends to eat a lot. Yeah, but then at the same time, it's not too messy either, such that to show that hey, there's no guys living, or like to show that the guy doesn't clean up after himself, kind of thing. Yeah, so for this one, if I'm not wrong, they don't have any living room couch. Yeah, because I decided to put in a bigger dining table for them to eat, because I took into consideration that they weren't going to have a study table, you see. So they will actually need the dining table for them to do their work, to study on. So I make it a little bit more bigger than usual. So I just decided to put a TV there, so if they want to watch TV, they can watch it from their dining table, you see. Yeah. So as you can see, I wanted to make everything fit nicely. Yeah, it was quite hard. The worst part was how the apartment was super compact. So you have to always think, like, there are some stuff you can put, but there are some stuff you cannot put. And yeah, like I said, I love cushions. So there was sometimes that I kind of forgot, like, to put in certain stuff. Like I'll be like, oh my goodness, I forgot to put in the dustbin. And yeah, and as you can see, yeah, I wanted to make this a more, like, it shows more of the girl side than the guy side. So it's like the guys, because the guy, it's not that he doesn't really have any personality, it's more like, you know, some guys, like, their personality don't show through like their things and stuff. Like girls, you can see their personality based on what color they like, how they decorate this, how they decorate that. But for guys, it's more of like, oh, their personality comes out through themselves. Like you won't know it through their room, you won't know what kind of person they are. So if a couple living together, there's a higher chance that the whole apartment will actually kind of reflect the girls' personality as compared to the guys' one. So as you can see, while building the room, I take that into account. Like, I wanted to show more of the girls' personality. Oh yeah, for here I completely forgot to put a dresser in the room, because yeah, I just completely forgot. And yeah, like I said, I wanted to make this as realistic as possible. So without a dresser, how are they supposed to change? Yep. And yeah, as you can see, after a while I realized that I wanted to make this a girl's room, hence all the makeup. So that was like, for that room I actually placed my Captain Victoria in it. Yeah. So anyway, back to this room. Yeah, as you can see, there's like, it's neat, but at the same time it's not neat, because there's a guy living in it, and it's not just a guy, there's like 2 people living in it. So 2 people living in one small compact apartment, there's bound to be a lot of messiness. Yeah, so it can't really be super neat. Yeah, and as you can see, as I was talking about just now, I had some stuff placed on the bed because there wasn't any space for a study table. So like, I wanted to show it in the sense that, oh, some of them actually studied on their bed, and that's perfectly fine with them. Yeah, and since the apartment was quite compact, throughout the whole house, throughout the whole hostel, I actually made use of racks like this, so that they can place more stuff, you know, so that like, it's not like you have a small house, you have a small apartment, so means you can only have a bit of stuff. No, it's not like that. Like, I wanted them to have as much stuff as they can put and make use of the walls around them. Yeah. So yeah, and I actually really, this was one of the room that I was really in love with, because yeah, I modeled it kinda after what I like, I guess. And yeah, because originally, like, I didn't really know the girls' favorite stuff, so I modeled it after what I like. So that was one of my favorite rooms to create, actually. Yeah. And yeah, I kind of skipped. As you can see, the other side I was finished with it, and it's quite bright. And each room has, trust me when I say, each room has their very own personality. Like, I assigned rooms to each of my dance mates. I assigned each of my dance mates to each of the room, and I build it based on their personality, or rather what they like and what they dislike. And for this room, one of my dance mates, Olivia, she has a dog, and she loves dogs. So I decided to implement one dog in this room, and yeah, it makes it a bit different. And it took me a while, because I'm not that familiar with living with an animal. As much as I like cats, I don't live with a cat, and this is a dog, so I didn't really know how to model it after, like, how to make it look like a dog live in that house. So as you can see, I was really struggling a lot. Yeah. And since the house was compact, I had to include also like the dog's stuff, like its food, its sleeping space. So again, I made use of the bunk bed. Yeah. And yeah, so I made use of the bunk bed idea together with the study table idea. Yeah. And yep, I wanted to give it another pillow, but yeah, I just in the end decided not to. Yeah, and as you can see, it's the study table are pretty much all similar. Like, they are quite similar placed, and all the things on top, like, I make sure each student has like one desktop and one laptop if they can afford it, like, unless they don't have that much space like a couple's room. Yeah, but other than that, if they actually have a study table in their room, I'll make sure that they have one laptop and one desktop. This is because, like, in my opinion, I think these students, like, they actually need a desktop and a laptop to study. They can actually combine it to make it into one using a HDMI cable. You know how you can make your screen bigger, and it will make it easier for them to study. Yeah, I had all these things in mind when I was creating the room. So basically, Olivia, this room I made it for Olivia, one of my closest friend, and she's girly but not too girly, and she loves all things makeup, and she's not a slob, but she also likes to hang around, sit around. So I wanted to show off her personality in this room. And as you can see from the Louis Vuitton carpet, it's like she's rich but she's not rich. Like she's rich but she doesn't show it. So I wanted there to be like subtle hints of it. Yeah, and as you can see, like the shoes will be the kind where she wears it. And yeah, like I said, I wanted to show, because she, if I don't know, she's not the kind of person who, yeah, she's not the kind of person who would show off her stuff. She's rather quiet, but at the same time, like when you get her talking, you realize that she has this bright personality. She's not loud, but she's very she's a very happy person. Yeah, so like I wanted to show that. And she likes to eat too, so I wanted to put like, you know, McDonald's to like show that, yeah, she likes to eat. Like she's a small sized person, but she really likes to eat, you know. Yeah, and I don't know if I managed to show that personality off in this apartment, but I did try my hardest, and I did get inputs from them, like Olivia herself. And yeah, and as you can see, yeah, there's not much on the study table. Like I said, I wanted to make it more student-like, so I tried to put in more books and, you know, like all those student materials, notepads and stuff like that. And yeah, I personally put for her a mirror, like the mirror the most makeup people use, because yeah, she's the kind of person where she likes all this stuff, you see. And yeah, you can see all the makeups were there, all the Sephora makeups. And yeah, so basically I had a lot of fun building her room, actually, because like it's fun to like make a girly but not so girly room, you see. Like I wanted to show off that she's a quite girly person, but at the same time she's not the kind where like she's super girly. Yep. So yeah, and as you can see from what I said just now, I actually changed the rooftop. I totally gave up on making it a modern rooftop, so I just put a normal rooftop. Yeah, and as you can see, my front house, I took out all the balconies. Yeah, so I just make it into a bigger balcony. Yep. And this one, what I had in mind was that, because like I said, I wanted it to be more like eco-living kind of, or rather I wanted to show off like certain plants and stuff like that. I wanted to make it more green. And so I had this idea, I got this idea from Sim Supply when he was building his eco house, I think, modern eco house. Yeah, so like I implemented this idea because it seems cool, but at the same time, I realized that I needed to have lights, because this whole corridor doesn't have lights yet. But I didn't want to put the side lighting because it looks ugly. Then I realized that I had these small like lightings. Yeah, and it looks really pretty, like these fairy lights, but not really fairy lights. It's more, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it just looks really gorgeous. Yeah, so as you can see, I wanted to place more flowers. I love flowers. But yeah, then I wanted to make it more brighter, because previously the dance academy was quite dull, since the houses are all quite dark. Yeah, so in the end I just make it like more whiter, you see. Yeah, and that was like one of the things that I actually changed. So because dance academy, you know, bright. Yeah, and yeah, that was actually most of it. And okay, as you can see, just now I created the remember the small garden I created at the front? Yeah, I had to, because I wanted to place 2 blocks there, so I just placed it over them. Like I was too lazy to take it out because I didn't want to readjust it. Yeah, so, and as you can see here, I decided to change my mind. Instead of making this into apartments, the last level will actually be like different gyms and different. Yeah, this is my dance room. Like if you've never been to a dance room, this is how a dance room legit looks like. Like it's just covered in mirrors, and you need to have at least 1 speaker. Yeah, and originally I wanted to have these blocks, because in my own dance room I actually had these columns. Yeah, that's what I call it. I actually had these columns where it kind of helps you dance sometimes. Yeah, like you can dance against it. But then the columns in Sims looks so huge, so I just decided to implement dancing poles. I mean, like, it's still dancing. Yeah. So yeah, so this is my dance room, and I decided to make this the toilet, girls and guys toilet, because I realized that I never really implemented a girls, like a legit girls and guys toilet before. Yeah. And this was because I had a lot of opinions from my dance mates, and one thing they wanted was to have a common pantry, or rather a dining room, where after dance they can just eat together instead of going back to their apartments to eat. So this was what I had in mind. So at first I wanted to put it like one whole table, but there wasn't much space to fit 18 people. So in the end I split it like this, and I included a stove too, because, you know, like, just in case they wanted to cook for themselves, and also a bar and a mini barbecue pit, I think. Yeah, I placed a mini barbecue pit. Yep. And yeah, so basically that, the barbecue pit, and I wanted to make it very friendly. So yeah, as you can see, I included, like, it looks like a restaurant, but it doesn't. Like, it's more of like their own personal space. Like, you know, if once they are done with dance, because we usually end dance at 9 p.m, and after that, like, there will still be time to hang around and stuff like that. And yeah, for this one I decided to put in a gym, because a lot of my dancer friends are actually gym buff, like they like to go to the gym. So this was one of the things that I wanted to include, like, so they can at least, you know, always go to the gym in between lessons and stuff like that. And I included a basketball court because some of my friends are very athletic, and so at least they have time to, you know, go down and, yeah, play. So I was quite hesitant to put mirrors in the gym, because honestly I never really go to gyms before, so I didn't really know how it looks like. So I had to Google my way through, and I realized, oh yeah, sometimes I do remember some of my friends taking gym pictures, and they have like this full length mirror around it, but it's not necessarily all around, it's just the sides. Yeah. So this one was just, I wanted to just build it like a normal toilet, a normal public toilet, you see, where like there's different cubicles. And yeah, I originally wanted to include a shower stall. I don't include you wanted to shower, but then I realized it's okay, you know, my dance mates don't really automatically shower after they done, so they can actually just shower at home, since their apartments are just like 2 levels below. Oh, and as you can see, the I included fences from the first level to the basement, because my best friend said that what if the students push each other down. So yeah, that was something to think about. And yeah, so other than that, I'm actually done. Yep. So as you can see, this is my house. I wasn't really good at the cinematic camera. As you can see, it was quite shaky, but yeah, I just wanted to show you all around it, how it looks like. Yep. And I was really proud of the top. Like, I love the rooftop a lot. And this is how it looks like. So as you can see, each room, like, it looks messy, but at the same time it's not. They're just clutters, and it reflects the life of a student, you see. And what I really love was the house number, like, because I had this thought in my head, like, hey, what if someone wants to visit them, and like, you can't really find different apartments easily. So I decided to put in house numbers that I actually found online. Yeah. And so this is the girls and the guys toilet. And yeah, like I said, the dining room, the dance room, and the gym. Yep. So basically this is the dance house, and I'm slowly moving in all 18 dance mates of mine. You can actually download this from my gallery, yourkucing. Yeah. Bye.